Nick DeLuca joined by Fordham guard Darius Quisenberry. Darius, thanks so much for taking some time.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Before we get into what your journey has been like here at Fordham, wanted to start with some of your background. Was there a moment growing up that you felt like this basketball thing, this is for me, I love basketball?
I feel like growing up, I was always in the gym. My dad was a coach, a basketball coach, ever since I was little. So people call me a gym rat, or basically literally I was born in the gym because I was always in there. People was passing me around in games and stuff. But I think falling in love with the game has just always been because I was the baby in my family of 5. My older brother, older sister, I used to always watch them at their games and stuff. And so I used to want to get out there on the court and do what they do, but I was obviously too little or too young. So, but I think those two being older than me inspired me a lot in everything I wanted to do, and just try to catch up with them. Even if I could do between the legs or do a certain move, I would practice it until I could be like them. So just challenging myself with my older sister Bianca, who played basketball at Cincinnati with the women's, and my brother who played D3 basketball. But just try to keep up with them at a young age. And I think I really fell in love with the game when I stopped playing all sports. Because I played football, baseball and stuff growing up. I played football all through high school, and I stopped after my sophomore year just to focus solely on basketball. And I think that's when I truly took off and fell in love with the game.
So you stopped playing football, you stopped playing baseball. Was there a moment, was it around that time that you said, hey, I look around, I'm pretty good here, I think I have a future in college basketball?
Absolutely. Actually, I think my best sport was football. I just fell in love with the game of basketball, just everything about it, from the competitive aspect to the crowd and everything just about basketball I fell in love with. But I actually think my best sport was football, but basketball I just fell in love with.
Along that journey, was there somebody who said, yeah, this is definitely for you, somebody who really was helpful in being influential, and also perhaps somebody who said, Darius, I don't know if college basketball is the way to go, you might want to consider something else?
Honestly, growing up in the town I grew up, a lot of my teachers and just a couple people just around the town used to always say, not a lot of people go D1 out a year, you know what I mean? You're too small, you're not 6'7", and you don't have a tremendous athleticism and stuff like that. So obviously, when introducing yourself in school, they're like, write what you want to be when you grow up and stuff. Teachers used to tell me, being a D1 athlete or playing in the NBA is too big of a dream, write something else, be realistic, stuff like that. But I've always been an underdog my whole life. I learned that from playing basketball with my older sister and older brother, always trying to compete with them. So I've always had that chip on my shoulder forever and stuff like that. So I think growing up in that aspect of my town, telling me I couldn't do it, made me just go much harder.
So you finally get to that spot, you begin at Youngstown State. What was that experience like for you, just the realization of that goal, being able to check the box of saying, hey, I made it, there is work to do, but I'm a Division I basketball player?
Absolutely. I think my favorite saying is never satisfied. There's always more stuff to get better at and more stuff to work on. You're never going to shoot 100% for the whole season, so there's always things to get better at. Obviously, it's a great milestone to get to D1, but obviously most people don't play after D1, so what percentage are you going to be after the fact?
When you look at your career, you're a 1,000-point scorer coming over here to Fordham, and we'll get to that in a moment. But is there something that you reflect on that happened throughout the course of your college career that maybe you wouldn't have had this level of success had that not happened, or a really valuable learning experience for you?
I think my whole freshman year, coming into Youngstown State, they didn't win many games that past. I think they won 6. So coming in and just being thrown into the fire, not really having any college experience or kind of getting to learn from an older guy to develop a little bit, no redshirt years or anything like that. So I think that year really opened my eyes to college basketball. I had to live and learn right there on the spot. Made a lot of mistakes, but learn from them. I think that was the biggest thing, having a growth mindset in that year, and then coming back my sophomore year and having one of my best years I've had in college basketball.
You're a guy who plays with a lot of passion, a lot of energy, fire on the court. What does it look like on a game day for Darius Quisenberry off of it, getting in the right headspace, making sure that you're prepared? What's the pregame ritual for you?
I usually always just wake up, listen to some music, maybe just switch up the playlist. Sometimes it's R&B, sometimes it's pop music, hip hop and stuff like that. But I usually come in, get treatment with our trainer, Ms. Tanj. get up some pregame routine shots, and then actually go into our routine that we have for pregame. So I usually go first, work out with the coaches, and then come back down, get stretched, modest times and stuff like that. And then after that, it's pretty much just listening to my music and then getting that right headspace.
Making sure he's locked in. You mentioned not being satisfied, the continual growth mindset, wanting to improve. What is something that sticks out to you about your game that you think could use some improvement and something that you're really trying to tackle?
I feel like now that Tone is out and also Chuba's out, but he's going to be back. I think just getting my teammates more involved, getting my teammates more shots, because if defenses start to key in on me, those guys are going to be open more, and my teammates can definitely hit open shots. We have really good shooters on our team. So just trying to get more assists probably, I would say, is my biggest thing.
Moving the basketball, for you when you're out on the court, is there something that excites you the most about playing basketball, whether it be a dunk, hitting a three in somebody's face, getting a huge defensive stop? What gets Darius Quisenberry most excited when he's on the court?
I would say probably the defense, because the defense leads the offense. I think once you play a really good time on defense and you sit down, they try to go left, try to go right, you sit in front of them, or you take a charge, I think that gets just everybody into the game, the bench included, all 5 players on the court. I think that's what gets everybody going. Obviously, a slam dunk, but I feel like the defensive mindset of just getting a stop, I think that's the biggest thing that can get a team going, especially ours.
So Darius, you spent 3 years at Youngstown State. You enter the transfer portal. You have a number of options as a 1,000-point scorer, a guy who is on a number of people's radars as a really talented player. Why is the decision made to come to Fordham?
I feel like it's just based off the relationship I built with Coach Neptune and Coach Ergo, talking to them over the phone just about how they would see me in their program, the vision they have for me as a player and as a man as well. With get my master's here at Fordham, and also just the plan they have for me on the court as a basketball player, and then after to play professionally, and all the professional people they played from Villanova to Penn State, their network is tremendous. So I think picking Fordham just from the network of just Fordham in general, the Fordham alum, and then the network between Coach Ergo and Coach Neptune, the opportunity is endless.
You mentioned Coach Neptune, Coach Ergo in their first years here at Fordham. What has that process been like, getting to know them, having an opportunity to play under Coach Neptune in his first season here at the Rose Hill Gym?
It's been amazing. I think they've done a great job trying to build a relationship with me. We've gone on multiple, places out to eat, stuff like that, been to Tao, all type of high-end restaurants and stuff like that. I think they're doing a real good job of taking care of us. We've had team parties, team bonding events, stuff like that. I think Coach Neptune and Coach Ergo do a tremendous job of just getting us involved with each other, and also just talking to us about what they want us to do on the court, off the court, how we're supposed to act and carry ourselves. I think they do a great job of being mentors for us.
You are able to get onto campus in the summer ahead of your first semester here at Fordham. Take me through your first day in the transition to becoming a Fordham basketball player, whether it be meeting your new teammates, trying to adjust to living in New York City. What was that process like?
It was actually cool. It was funny. We came here early May, I think, before everybody, just because it was everybody was new and stuff like that. And I was actually coming in the gym to work out, and nobody was here. And I was just like, well, where's the coaches at? And then Coach Nima was the first person I met. And then we just started ratting and talking and stuff, and he coached at a bunch of different places, Maryland, NC State, and then Coach Neptune finally walked in, and Coach Ergo started screaming. So, but it was a good day. It was a good day.
What was the transition like for you, not only getting to play under a new coaching staff, but meeting a number of new teammates? You're in a situation where you had played 3 years at Youngstown State. I'd imagine becoming pretty comfortable with the guys who were around you. Now you're into a new situation. What was it like to have to adjust and learn how to play with a number of different players?
It was difficult, just trying to get a new style of play, pick up on the way Coach Neptune wanted me to play, a lot of catch and shoot. I actually played a lot of off ball this year. It's my first year playing like kind of the 2-guard, combo guard. I usually play just strictly point, but just learning to play with another dynamic guard in Antonio Day. Just trying to figure out how to pick and choose my spots, when to score, when to pass, and things like that. I think Coach Neptune and Coach Ergo and the whole coaching staff has done a good job of just trying to elevate my game and put more things to my game and build my craft. Just to trying to catch and shoot, win the pump fake and play off my pump fake, play off my shot, and stuff like that. And now it's to the point where now I'm having to do that, but also have to create for my teammates as well. So I think it's been a great eye-opening and growth mindset experience for me coming here and changing the way I play a little bit, but it's good for me as well.
It has been new. It has been a transition, but you've had a ton of success. A-10 Player of the Week here at Fordham, first player to accomplish that since 2017. Your 36 points against Davidson were the most by a Fordham player since 2000. What do you feel like has allowed you to get onto campus and flourish in the way that you have?
I think the trust of my coaches in me, and also the trust my teammates have in me to take those shots. I wouldn't be in a position I would if it wasn't for them allowing me to take those shots and believing in me in the way they do. And then also the coaches put me in a position to take those shots for running plays for me, etc., things of that sort, and just building the confidence in me and working on my game. Like I said, the catch and shoots and everything, trying to transition my game to get those easy shots.
You guys were able to get off to the first 2-0 start in Fordham's history while a part of the Atlantic 10 and have played a number of close games since that point that haven't exactly gone your way but have shown that toughness that Coach Neptune has really emphasized. What do you feel like will allow this team to grow and finally get over that hump when they're playing those close games to finally come out on top and find a way to do that?
I feel like just for us, it's just to lock in on the little details. Losing big pieces of our team and Chuba and et cetera, and other players. I think it's even more important for us to really lock in on those details, offensively and defensively, to execute offensively and then defensively. I mean, we have a scouting report, and just to follow that scouting report to a T. If we do that, we put ourselves in the best position to win those basketball games and get over the hump. Because we've been there in every game, down 3, down 6, and stuff like that. It's just those little last 2 minutes, 4 minutes of the game we have to really lock in.
In talking to Coach Neptune, he described you as one of the most talented guards that he's ever coached. He called you an offensive juggernaut. What does that mean to you?
I think it's a great honor, especially for him to say that. He's a funny guy, but I've never heard offensive juggernaut before. But that's a good thing. I mean, like I say, never satisfied and stuff like that. There's always things to get better at. I can always get better at my shot or just certain things and finding my spots to score and when not to, especially now in conference play. Everybody's kind of locked in on scouting reports and everything. So doing that and also finding my teammates so they can get open shots as well.
That's Fordham guard Darius Quisenberry. Darius, thanks so much for taking some time.
Thank you for having me.
Here we're in the film room with Darius Quisenberry. Darius, a sports broadcasting major back in his days at Youngstown State. He's going to have some fun calling some plays for us. You ready for this? You good?
Absolutely, yeah. Hopefully you can give me some tips.
All right, let's get to it. All right, plays rolling here. You got 15 minutes. Here you go.
All right. I'm talking about myself in third person. Quisenberry at top of the key, passes it to Tarleton. Tarleton dribbles over, bounces back, goes up, gives it to Abdul, back to Charlton. Pump fakes, give it to Rose. 3, bang! Good shot, Rose, for the Tracy.
There it is. I love it. The Tracy. So that's what you're going there. That's the 3 call.
Yeah, that's the 3 call.
I like it. I like the bang too. You know, you got a little Mike Breen in you there. The Fordham roots. I like it.
Oh, Rose to the tip. Chuba grabs a rebound, pushes it down the court, gives it to Rose. Rose dribbles up. Chuba comes for the screen. Rose comes off the screen. Dribbles, shovel pass to Chuba. Slam dunk for Ohams.
That's it. You bring the energy. I like it. And that's good ball movement right there. See, you can interject too and be like, there it is. That's great ball movement. The ball movement kings of the A-10, Fordham Rams right there. No look too.
No look. I've never seen Rose do that.
I like it. So what do you like most about calling games? Is that, I know you've done it a couple of times. What gets you most excited about doing that?
I just love being around a game of basketball. I think that's pretty much why I got my degree in sports broadcasting, and I just want to stay around the game after I'm done playing it professionally and stuff like that, after I retire and everything, just because the atmosphere, of course, the competitiveness, you can still be around it even if you're play-by-play guy. You can still be competitive in that aspect. Just calling games and just the atmosphere of it is tremendous.
Is that something you want to do post-basketball? It is something you want to get into broadcasting?
Absolutely. I was always thinking about being like a sports analyst on, or ESPN, just talking about the game at halftime, doing halftime shows and stuff. That was Cam's best dunk right there, for sure. But yeah, just staying around the game. I think that would be fun, just being like an ESPN talk show or something like that.
I don't want to take you away from that. That was a big-time slam.
Yeah, that was. I tell him to do that every time. Every time he goes into the lane, he's so athletic with so much, raw potential. If he dials in and he does that every time, shoot, I'll take it.
That's a man's jam right
Yeah,
there.
for real.
All right, go ahead. Here you go in the half court.
Quisenberry at top of the key, dribbles, steps back, passes to Cologne, pump fake, switch, throw it to Quisenberry. 4, 3, 2, steps back, bang. Got to keep a hand up on that kid.
I think you got to add something about one of the top scorers in the A-10 after that. Acrobatic shot, something there. Making something out of nothing as the shot clock expires. That's pretty good right there.
Right, it's never over till the fat lady sings, right to that buzzer sounds.
All right, we'll wrap up here with Darius Quisenberry. Darius, I hope that you had at least a little fun getting a chance to call you. Now, that's something I've never done. I've never certainly called myself. I'm sure that was at least a unique experience.
It definitely was unique calling myself in third person and just talking about the game. And it's weird seeing it on film, but calling it's a little different. I think you definitely do a way better job of me than that.
Well, I appreciate that. I think you got a future, though, and anytime you want to come by the booth, I mean, you're always welcome. I think you're probably better out on the court right now, though, I got to say.
I was about to say, absolutely. I'll stay on the court and definitely leave this job to you because you do a good job of it.
Appreciate it and appreciate you taking some time. It was really so much fun getting a chance to catch up with you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.